Thank you for joining me for this video, which is my first look at a firing system from SecurePyro called the VPyro. This is an expandable 5Q system which is fired from an iOS or Android app from your mobile phone or tablet. I'd like to thank Dynamic Fireworks for getting a unit out to me so quickly to test out, though as always my content is independent. I'm not sponsored or being paid to make this video, and there are no affiliate links either. Dynamic have told me that in addition to selling this unit to the public, they are also the exclusive UK wholesaler. So if you're a fireworks shop and wanting to stock this, then they're the people you need to contact. There's also a website set up for the product, which is SecurePyro.uk. At the time of making this video, the RRP is listed at around £100, with Dynamic currently selling it for a little less. I'm not sure where the prices will end up with this being so new to the UK market. The hope is that we'll see this more widely available as other retailers stock it. Okay, let's take a closer look at what you get, starting with the box itself, which is fairly chunky and weighty. Inside there's the unit itself, a set of 2 keys, a wrist strap, a USB lead for charging, and a large number of instruction leaflets, one of which is in English. The instructions actually are very clear, which is a luxury with cheaper firing systems. I'm so used to either very bad or no instructions at all with the Chinese 4Q systems. The firing system itself feels very solid for the price, which I would say is mostly down to it being within its own sturdy case. There's no battery door or other potential weak spots on the bottom of the unit either. This is down to it having a built-in and rechargeable battery. Opening the lid, then we have 5 Qs. These are spring-style connectors, which you connect your igniters to. There's a master key switch, an on-off button with 2 marked positions, and indicators for power, battery and connection. Charging is done by a micro USB port on top of the unit. The supplied cable has a standard large USB plug at the other end, so you'll need to have a compatible charger at home. I'm sure most people do. The LED indicators on this are very, very bright, so you're unlikely to lose this unit at night. For those who want to know, the unit is roughly 15 centimeters wide including the side rails, 10 centimeters deep including the hinge and latch, and 5 centimeters high with the lid closed. It weighs 325 grams. For this first look, I'm using an Android phone. The app downloaded and installed with no drama whatsoever, and I'm massively impressed to find there's no forced registration or any of that kind of stuff. It just works straight out of the box. You switch the unit on by selecting the top position, which makes the system the master unit. If you add additional systems, the manufacturer says you can link up to 10, then others would use position 2. Connection involves going into your device settings and selecting the VPyro Wi-Fi to connect to. The password for this is on the bottom of the device. I'll show you around the app as I demo the device, so let's head over to the test bench and take a look. Here you can see the unit is listed on the screen along with 5 Qs, which are currently red to indicate nothing is connected to them. However, if I connect an igniter, and here I'm going to be using test bulbs to simulate igniters, the number will turn green to confirm continuity, plus the LED on the unit's Q will also then light up. I really like how quickly the app reflects changes in connections. It's within a couple of seconds. Tapping on the row of numbers takes you to the main screen for the unit. I've now connected bulbs to all 5 outputs so we can see how it works. At this stage, nothing will activate the Qs because the master key on the unit is set to lock, so we need to turn that. Notice how quick that's reflected in the app. It's still not live, however, because of another failsafe on the app itself, a slide to unlock switch. After doing that, the arm button lights up, but notice the buttons still don't work, as the final failsafe is the need to dual press arm plus the Q you want to fire. Let's do that now. A couple of things I appreciate here. Note how long the pulse is, so this is going to have no problems firing clip-on igniters. And also the continuity is still showing after firing a bulb, so the app is correctly reflecting what's there even after firing. And you can repeat fire a cue if there's continuity still there. Another nice feature is you can find multiple queues as quickly as you like, even overlapping them. So whilst there's no option to group specific queues together, it's not hard to do this with quick fingers. My phone also allowed 2 fingers at once for paired firing. Heading back to the main screen, the hamburger menu and device configuration, here you can select Fire All, which, if we head back to the main controls, activates a new button next to ARM, which was previously ghosted out. As expected, this fires all 5 queues at once. However, individual functionality is still there, so you could, as shown here, fire queues 1 and 2 on their own, then use Fire All, which in a live setting would fire 3 to 5 at the same time. Here with bulbs you obviously see all 5 go off again. One other option to mention is Igniter's Test. If you deselect this, the unit doesn't do a continuity test and all 5 queues show green and ready to fire at will, regardless of what's connected. Finally, there is an option to change the Wi-Fi password too. Okay, out to the garden now and a Hello World test just to show the unit working for real. Very quickly here, for beginners watching this, igniters are single-use items which you throw away afterwards. The type typically used with consumer firing systems have a clip on the end which attaches to the fuse. They contain a wire which heats up and this burns your fuse into life. These are also known as Talon igniters. As you can see here, no problems using some test fuse. Note the igniters here are the official blue branded SecurePyro ones. Generic igniters, often orange coloured, are widely available in various lengths. You can also extend igniters with bell wire. This is going beyond the scope of this video, but please browse my YouTube video history for more guidance on this. Next, I want to do a basic range check. For me as a back garden displayer, I'm looking for at least 25 metres range. That's the spectator distance of F3 fireworks, and would allow you to stand with the crowd when firing, which is one of the main attractions of remote firing, rather than being right in there with the fireworks hand lighting. Ideally though, a bit of extra leeway to up to 30 to 40 metres being ideal, and maybe a bit more appreciated as a bonus. The SecurePyro website suggests up to 100 metres range, and the team at Dynamic have told me they're getting 60 metres or so. I must stress here that for this test I'm using my daily mobile phone, which is a budget £100 Motorola running Android. It's also in a plastic case for protection. I wouldn't think this has a very advanced chipset in the Wi-Fi department, so my expectations here were quite low. I've raised the unit on a bucket, as this should be a common thing to find in a back garden, just to get it off the ground, and therefore this is a line of sight test. Running the tape measure out to 50 metres, and at that distance my phone started to be a little obtuse with me, seeing the unit's Wi-Fi, but I was unsure if it was actually connecting, and the app was acting as if it wasn't. Moving to 40 metres then to 30, still no joy, so fearing the worst, I got quite close, 25 metres or so, and then got a strong signal. The app liked it and could fire okay. But from there, I was able to walk away and fire at increasing distances, as you can see here. 25 metres, working fine. And walk back. I was firing the unit. Still working. Still working. Still working. Still working. I'm quite a way back now. 44 metres. Still working fine. All lights are coming on. Okay, after a bit of a pause, I'm at 50 metres now. 47 metres rather. There was a bit of a pause there, but it has come through. It's still working at 47. Okay, I'm at 50 now. Still working well. It would seem then that the trick, at least with my phone, is to connect quite close, something you would likely do anyway when you go and switch the unit on, and then keep a connection as you walk away. I'm going to keep walking back. Still going. Well, we're still going. No, the app it fired, but then it's bombed out. So I'd say this is the range, maximum theoretical range anyway. So on top of the distance I got from the unit before it gave up, we have got, and this won't focus on a GoPro, but this is 26 meters. Although this could fire at over 70 meters, I probably wouldn't want to use it at this extreme range, noting an occasional pause at distances greater than 40 meters or so. But based on this quick test, I'd say with line of sight, this should be good for at least 40 meters reliably, with the caveat again that more modern phones or tablets are likely to do better. Clearly this needs a lot more time and testing to get a better indication of reliable ranges, and also whether my phone's case affected it. I'm already working on a follow-up video to look at this. Other things to test are of course how multiple units work together and how many igniters you can fire from one queue. So if you're not already subscribed, please feel free to do so. But I wanted to keep this first look video as bloat-free as possible, given my tendency to ramble on, and that wraps up my initial tests. For those that would like an opinion, my impressions so far are very positive. Whilst the app and firing options are basic, it's very solid as a result. I like the quick communication between the app and the firing system, the ability to overlap queues and also to fire again if needed. The fail-safe options are great, and the inbuilt case means this is ready to go in British weather. Value-wise, compared to the cheaper 4Q systems which sell for around £30, I think you get a lot more for your money than might be immediately apparent on paper. You're adding a secure app control rather than using a radio remote, something which has been a weak spot on the cheaper systems, some of which has been shown to trigger themselves from other device remote controls, including lighting systems and wireless doorbells. The smaller 4-button remotes supplied with some of them are also utterly terrible, if your hands are any bigger than a Lego minifigure. You're also getting a great case built in and no need for additional AA batteries or an obscure size battery for the remote. Look, I do like the cheap 4Q systems and I've got plenty of them, but for me they're more for casual pyro fun in the garden, and I would be less likely to use one for an actual show. So putting all this together, I can see where the extra money is going to. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.